Hello, everybody. Welcome to SHC TV. This is part one of the series that we all hoped would never come, and that is Megan's Cookery Show, which I am entitling my coverage of it to be With Skepticism, Secondhand Coke, episode one. This is, if you haven't tuned into my channel before, you should know, or hello and welcome and thanks for being here. Go ahead if you're new here and subscribe, or if you're not new here and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You can also help the channel out by pressing like and leaving feedback in the comments. I love all interaction with you, and I'm glad to be here suffering through this nightmare with you this time. This, if you're wondering, is the channel that constantly asks Meghan Markle, but why though? And that's what we do here. So again, this is the first in a series of shorter videos wherein I'm watching and critiquing Meghan's new hosting show. And more on that in a minute, except to say it's more about entertaining people than it is about cooking or homemaking or anything like that. It's about having friends over and finding ways to be a good hostess. So I am critiquing her hostessing show. This is the show better known as With Love Megan, and I find it amusing that Netflix had so much love for this show that they dropped it all at once on their platform overnight, with all the ceremony one might use in dropping a lit paper bag full of shit on your least favorite neighbor's home before ringing the doorbell and running away to watch them try to stomp out the fire. That's what this feels like. Because if you went to bed last night on the East Coast, and then at the time you went to bed, you weren't going to bed with Love Megan existing in your Netflix queue. But by the time you woke up, it was there for you to see. Actually, it wasn't really there. I had to search for it. And that in and of itself is just fulfilling all of my prophecies, or all of my intel about how much salt Netflix is putting into this particular production. They have not marketed it, and they're not even putting it on their home screens right now. I had to look it up manually to find it to be able to make fun of it. And that's probably a good thing, because we don't want this to end up in the wrong hands. And even with those of us who are hate watching, we are providing ratings for her, and ratings are ratings, good or bad. So hopefully I will be one of just a few on YouTube letting you all know how I feel about what I've just seen, and also letting you know what I've just seen so that you don't have to go look at it yourself, unless of course you want to. So today's episode, as I said, for episode one of With Love Megan, the episode is entitled Hello Honey. 3 guesses for you about what's in this episode, just from the episode title. Hello Honey. 3 guesses. 3 guesses. Megan's guest today is her friend, Michael Martin. Excuse me, Michael Martin. That's the Halloween guy. Perhaps he should have come. But her friend, Daniel Martin. And for those of you not aware, Daniel Martin is a rare person in Megan's life who has not been markled, and who has had at least a 15-year working relationship with Megan. As I watched more of this show, I kind of started to theorize on why this relationship has lasted so long, but more on that towards the end. But anyway, Daniel is coming over for a sleepover at Megan's house. And for reasons not clear to me, There are several things that make this not as straightforward as it sounds. One, the house that they're doing all of their filming in is not Megan's house. So Daniel's not coming over to this house to sleep over. And when Megan goes through and makes all her frou-frou guest gifts for Daniel, she even says, I'm gonna have to take this over to my house. I'm not living in this house. I have to take this to my house. So why I bring it up at all, it just adds to the confusion. But regardless, Daniel is here watching Megan do stuff in a kitchen that is not her own. And apparently he's okay with that. So if he's okay with it, God, far be it from me to say anything negative about him. I don't know him. Um, but, what really worries me about this is the idea of the adult sleepover. I mean, I guess they still happen. Am I weird? I just, I'm a couple of years older than Megan, but I don't know though. It's just like after a while, instead of having sleepovers, we just started calling it getting married. I mean, she and this guy are obviously not having any kind of relationship, and I don't mean to imply that, in the least, but, I don't know, maybe I'm just picking on something. Grown friends do visit each other. They sleep over too. I just have to find some way to be an asshole when it comes to talking about this show. So bear with me as I go through one attempt after another to just be a jerk and make fun of this and do it the justice that it deserves. So, let's move on and look at our next piece of propaganda for Megan.
Tired. The joy of hostessing for me is surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of their whole experience from morning till evening. When it comes to Daniel, we've been friends for maybe 15 years. When I first had my job on Suits and I started going to events, he was doing my makeup for that. And we far transcended makeup and just became friends. And he has just been in my life for the before, during, and after, shall we say. And he's very much a mainstay. Uncle Daniel, the kids call him. Just tied up. The joy of hostessing for me
Yeah,
is
Uncle
surprising
Daniel.
people
Imagine
with
that.
moments that let them know
Um,
I was really thinking
so
of their whole
when it
experience
comes to
from
Megan
morning
talking about
till
Daniel, this is
evening.
a man that
When
she's
it
known
comes to
for
Daniel,
15
we've
years
been friends for
professionally.
15 years.
He's done all of her makeup, and
When
we've
I
heard of
first
him
had my
following
job on
her around to
Suits
every
and I
special
started
event
going to
doing her
events, he
makeup,
was doing my makeup
including
for
her
that.
makeup, if I'm not mistaken,
And
for
we
the royal
far
wedding.
transcended
Um,
makeup and just
so
became
these
friends.
two seem to have been
And he
through a
has just been
lot
in my life
together in terms of
for the
experiences, yet
before,
she
during,
still
and after,
doesn't have very
shall we
much
say. And he's
personal
very much a
to say
mainstay.
about Daniel or
Uncle
his
Daniel, the kids
personality
call him.
or what about him she
Just tired.
likes.
The joy
I
of
don't know. When I
hostessing
talk
for
about my
me
friends, I,
is
I talk
surprising
about
people
what they do
with moments
well,
that let them
fun,
know I was really
crazy,
thinking
stupid things we've done
of their whole
together. But
experience
here
from
with Megan and
morning till
Daniel, there
evening.
doesn't seem to
When it
be a
comes to
lot of
Daniel,
that,
we've been friends for
especially for a
15 years.
15-year friendship with a woman
When I first had my job
who
on
cannot
Suits
manage to
and I
even
started going to
remember
events, he
the
was doing my makeup for
friend's
that.
name who introduced her
And we
and her
far
husband,
transcended
or
makeup
was
and
just
just
that
became friends.
Instagram. Depends on
And
who
he
you
has
ask,
just
I
been in my
guess.
life
The
for
important thing to
the
know
before,
here
during, and
is,
after,
and Megan
shall
made
we
it
say.
clear for
And
us
he's
at the
very much
end,
a
is
mainstay.
that the
Uncle
kids
Daniel, the
call
kids
him
call him.
Uncle Daniel.
Just tired up.
So,
The joy of hostessing for
obviously,
me
there is a
is
tight,
surprising
tight
people
bond
with
here.
moments
If
that
her friends are
let them know
or
I
her
was really
kids rather,
thinking
are
of their whole experience
calling this
from
man Uncle
morning
Daniel.
till evening.
Still,
When it
they
comes to
don't act like
Daniel,
people who've
we've been
seen each
friends for
other very
maybe
much in the
15
last 10
years.
years, and she doesn't talk about him like
When I
they
first
hang
had
out
my
all
job
the
on
time,
Suits
but
and I
who am
started
I
going
to
to
say?
events, he was doing my
I'm
makeup
just
for that.
watching a show.
And we far transcended
Um,
makeup and just became
but
friends.
that said,
And he has just been
Harry
in my
and
life
Meghan aren't around their house
for
that much. It may
the
be that
before, during, and
the
after,
little
shall we say.
Sussexes have
And he's
seen
very much
Uncle
a
Daniel more than
mainstay.
they've seen their
Uncle
parents.
Daniel, the kids call
Who
him.
knows?
Just
Anything
tired up.
goes in
The
this
joy
realm.
of hostessing for me
So let's go
is
to our
surprising
next
people
screen and
with
see what
moments
else
that
we have
let them know.
going on. Okay. So Daniel's coming over, Megan tells us, to give us the existence of this episode so that we have a reason for having this episode. His visit is the reason this episode exists. So we can thank him or not thank him as we feel fit. He's the reason. Dan's visit is Megan's opportunity to pretend that none of the rest of the world knows anything about having parties or visitors before. And so this is just her opportunity to jump in there and let us all know that when you have guests, you want to make sure that their bedroom and bathroom are nice, which means something different than I thought it meant. Apparently, you should have some vase full of weeds from your yard by the bed to show your guests that you've been thinking of them and their visit, and that you thought it might be nice if they had some weeds by the vase in a vase by their bed. You also need your guests to know that you are not only thinking about their experience in the bedroom, but you are also thinking about their experience in the bathroom. And once she said that, and once I got over feeling a bit invaded by the thought of Meghan Markle thinking of me in the John, that probably Meghan's not thinking about me in the John. Another reason I'm glad not to know her. But she's probably just saying that so that she can include one of the old products that she used to, um, be the front woman for, and that would be this
Salts.
here.
The base of what we need is good old fashioned Epsom salts
I'm gonna
or
pause that right
magnesium
there so
flakes.
that we can give
Great to
this
relax the body.
the
You can add more
acknowledgement it
to it.
deserves. Um,
Use a lot of arnica in my
So
house.
yeah,
That's
I
toddler
thought
life.
maybe she
Lots of
was
bumps
gonna
and
put some
bruises. And arnica
poopery in
oil is
there for
great for
Daniel,
treating
and that
small
she was gonna
bruises.
remind us of that, and
Salts.
we would get
The
a
base of what we
clip of
need
her
is good old
lovingly
fashioned Epsom salts
displaying a can
or
of
magnesium
poopery,
flakes.
for the
Great to relax the
ease and
body. You
enjoyment
can add
of
more
her
to it.
friend Daniel. But no,
Use a lot of arnica in
what
my
she
house.
was
That's
talking
toddler life.
about was
Lots of bumps and
actually,
bruises. And arnica oil is
something
great for
different.
treating
She's not
small
thinking
bruises.
about what he needs in the
Salts.
bathroom. She's
The
thinking
base of
about
what we
what
need
he
is
needs in
good
the
old fashioned Epsom
bathtub,
salts
which
or
I'm not
magnesium
sure I feel
flakes.
any better
Great to
about, but
relax the
let's
body.
start this
You can add
video
more to
here.
it. Use a lot of arnica in my house. That's toddler life. Lots of bumps and bruises. And arnica oil is great for treating small bruises. Salts. The base of what we need is good old fashioned Epsom salts or
Yeah, I really
magnesium
let's hit it from
flakes.
the beginning if
Great
I
to
can.
relax the body. You can add more to it. Use a lot of arnica in my house. That's toddler life. Lots of bumps and bruises. And arnica oil is great for treating small bruises. Salts. The base of what we need is good old fashioned Epsom salts or magnesium flakes. Great to relax the body.
Now,
You can add
I'm
more to it.
sorry, arnica
Use a lot of
oil?
arnica in my house. That's toddler
I
life.
mean, I get
Lots
it.
of bumps
Megan's
and
making some
bruises.
bath
And
salts
arnica
for this
oil is
dude
great
to
for
just
treating
lay in a
small
bath that
bruises.
apparently he has his
Salts.
own of in
The
their
base
house,
of what we need is
and just
good old fashioned
luxuriate in these
Epsom
bath
salts
salts. But
or
arnica
magnesium
drops,
flakes. Great
she
to relax the
specifically
body. You can
said,
add more to it.
um,
Use a lot of
that she
arnica in my house.
uses
That's toddler
Epsom
life.
salt, which
Lots
is
of bumps and
normal,
bruises.
and
And
then
arnica
she
oil is
says
great for
that she
treating small
uses
bruises.
arnica salts because
Salts. The
toddler
base of
life,
what we need
arnica
is
salts,
good
toddler
old fashioned
life.
Epsom salts
And
or
I have a
magnesium
question.
flakes.
I mean, is this a
Great to relax
given
the body.
piece of
You can add
knowledge
more to
that
it.
life with one or more
Use a lot of
toddlers
arnica in my house.
necessitates
That's toddler
arnica?
life.
Like,
Lots of
at
bumps
some
and
point,
bruises. And
all of
arnica
my
oil is
children were
great for
all
treating
toddlers at the
small
same
bruises.
time, and
Salts. The
I
base
have
of
more
what we
kids
need
than
is
Megan,
good old
but,
fashioned Epsom salts or
sorry, I didn't
magnesium
get the
flakes.
2 kid
Great to relax the
environmentalist
body.
award that
You can
Megan
add more
got
to it.
so that she can
Use a
fly
lot
just
of arnica in
herself
my house.
around the
That's
world
toddler
on
life.
private jets.
Lots of bumps and
But,
bruises. And arnica oil
yeah,
is
I had a
great
few
for
more
treating
kids than
small
she did,
bruises.
but I would
Salts. The
never have
base of what we
considered
need
arnica
is good old
oil to
fashioned
be
Epsom salts
toddler life,
or
and I'm
magnesium
wondering
flakes.
if I'm
Great to
alone.
relax the
Or
body.
am
You
I
can add more to it.
alone? If so,
Use a lot of arnica in my
kindly
house.
put
That's
into the
toddler life.
chat,
Lots of bumps and bruises.
whether or
And
not you
arnica oil
use
is
arnica
great for treating
oil,
small bruises.
um, what
Salts.
it
The
has
base of
done
what we
for
need
you, your
is good
children.
old
Is
fashioned
arnica
Epsom
oil
salts
really
or
something that
magnesium
is
flakes.
so,
Great to relax the
um,
body. can add more to
connected
it.
to toddlers that
There's a lot of
it
Arnica in my
deserves,
house
like,
that's
the
toddler life.
toddler life
So
hashtag.
and Arnica
I mean,
oil
how
is
many
great for
bruises do
treating
her
small
kids
bruises like
have?
salts. The
When my
base of
kids
what we
get
need is
bruises
good old
or their
fashioned Epsom
muscles ache
salts
from
or
soccer or something,
magnesium
I might
fix.
put some Epsom
Great to
salts in their
relax the
bath
body. You
just to
can add
make
more
their
to it.
muscles feel good, but I'm not
Use a
putting
lot of
arnica
Arnica in my
oil in
house
there.
that's toddler
And
life.
is this
A
the
lot of
same
people with
arnica
bruises,
that,
Arnica oil is great
um,
for treating small bruises.
Amber,
Salts. The base of
Jesus,
what we need is
thank
good
God I've
old
forgotten her
fashioned
name,
Epsom
but then
salts
again,
or
Amber
magnesium flakes.
Beard,
Great
Amber
to relax the body. You can add more to it.
Amber Heard.
Use a lot of Arnica in my
Amber
house that's
Heard
toddler
has
life.
was talking
A lot of
about
people
in
with some
her,
bruises, and Arnica
testimony
oil is
during the Johnny
great
Depp
for treating
trial. Is this
small
the same
bruises
arnica
like
cream?
salts.
Does it come in a
The
cream
base of
form?
what we need
Is
is
she
good old
throwing
fashioned Epsom salts
is Meghan
or
Markle making a
magnesium
sweet
flakes.
nod to
Great to
Amber
relax the
Heard
body.
with
You can
arnica?
add more to it.
I mean,
Use a lot
I
of
don't
Arnica in my
know,
house
you
that's
tell
toddler
me,
life.
but
A lot of people with
I
some
that whole
bruises,
arnica
and
thing
Arnica
just
oil is
seems a little
great for
bit,
treating small bruises.
little
Salts.
shady to
The
me,
base of what
so
we need
I don't
is
know.
good
Let
old
me know what you
fashioned Epsom
think
salts
about the arnica
or
cream
magnesium
slash
flakes.
arnica
Great to relax the body. You can add
oil.
more to it.
Okay,
Use a lot of Arnica in my house
so,
that's toddler life.
here we go to the next thing. Oh god, this is a boring show. I'm bored already. But in the leftmost picture, I have put down for you this little trick that she did that was actually pretty cool. And now some of you may know this and therefore you're still bored, but for a minute I perked up because what she did was she took an ear of corn, she cut it in half, she put the half an ear into a paper bag and put it in the microwave for a few seconds and it popped corn, so the popped corn was on the ear. And I was like, "That is the cutest thing I ever saw." Now she went and ruined it by throwing it all into a bowl, and then she says, she has to elevate the taste of it, so she puts a whole bunch of truffles all over it. She goes, "Truffle, truffle, truffle, truffle salt, truffle oil, truffles, just truffles everywhere." It was truffle insane. But here's how I would elevate this if I were gonna do this in my life, and I might actually. I would have totally immersed that ear of corn in butter. Like, I'd have drowned it in butter and let it just sit and marinate in butter for a long time. Maybe put some salt on it. If one of my kids likes garlic on his popcorn, I might put some garlic salt on there. And then I would pop it, and then I would leave it on the cob, except for anything that had fallen off into the bag, salt it up, hand it to a kid, and then just see what happens. That looks kinda like a cute little snack. But anyway, that's one thing she did that wasn't too non-worthwhile, at least from my perspective. The She does a crudité, of course, and I have an unfortunate feeling that we can expect a crudité with every episode. And this crudité was pretty, but it's a crudité. W Fine. Okay. Um, so there's that. Now, the next thing that she does is, in the bottom sequence of pictures, she takes the baby tomatoes that are being cut up in the, um middle picture up top, and she uses this to make some kind of what she calls a single dish pasta. And says that she doesn't drain the water off the noodles, she just lets it go floury, and then the flouriness of the noodle gives the illusion of the pastas being creamy, which I'm not sure I can get on board with. You tell me if I'm wrong though. And then, but you can see pictures of the dish that she does, and it looks better than it sounded. But yeah, I don't know that I want to. to include wet noodle juice in my entree, but what do I know? So, yeah, those are the main food things that she does for her friend Daniel, or her friend Daniel and she do together. She actually makes him cook, and she has him cut some of the tomatoes, and he cuts his hand, and then she flips out and she's like, "Oh my god, he's an artist. He's gonna ruin his hand. He's an artist." And I'm thinking, "You're the one who made him participate, number 1. Number 2, he's a makeup artist, and number 3, he's saying it's okay, so why don't we just calm down?" Anyway, moving on. So this is the part that I think everybody wanted to see, which was Megan tackling the beehive. So that'll come up first, and then I'll provide my comments.
Some people just do this entirely by themselves at home. We've been doing this for over a year now, but I still need you. I can't do this part. It makes me so scared.
Oh, don't be scared.
I remember when we started, we didn't have like there were bees here. We've had it, and watch us grown. See how long is incredible. Oh, they're busy. Busy bees.
Brilliant,
I love
Meg.
good vibes.
We're about to immerse ourselves in like 70,000 good vibes.
Good vibes for good hives.
Here we go.
Some people just do this entirely
Okay,
by themselves at home.
so
We've
that's
been
what
doing
we
this
were
for
all
over a year
waiting
now, but
for,
I still
Megan to
need
beekeep.
you. I
Um,
can't do this part. It makes me so
what's
scared.
funny
Oh,
about
don't be
this
scared.
is that
I remember when
she
we started,
asks
we
the
didn't have
beekeeper
like there were bees
what
here.
the
We've had it, and
lifespan
watch
of
us
the
grown.
bees are,
See how long is incredible.
which is 4 to 5
Oh,
weeks.
they're busy.
She then lets us
Busy bees.
know that she hasn't been down to
Good vibes.
her
We're about to immerse ourselves in
beekeep,
like
um,
70,000 good
in
vibes.
several
Good vibes for
months.
good
So that
hives.
means that any
Here
bee
we
she
go.
met when she first went to her beehive is dead. Every bee she
People just
met
do
is
this
dead.
entirely by
And
themselves at home.
now
We've been
these
doing
are
this for
all
over a
new
year now, but I
bees
still
working to
need
get
you.
her honey
I
so that
can't do
she
this
and
part. It
Daniel
makes me
can
so
make
scared. Oh, don't
souvenir
be
take
scared.
home
I remember when we
beeswax honey
started, we didn't
candles later.
have like there were bees
And
here.
they
We've
all
had
gave
it,
their
and watch
life,
us
and Megan
grown.
didn't even come see
See how
them
long is incredible.
more than one time, which
Oh,
they're
they're busy.
probably fine with, those bees.
Busy bees.
But it just kills me. It's like,
Good vibes.
We're
you
about to immerse ourselves in
are
like
supposedly, "Oh,
70,000
yeah,
good
you're
vibes.
you're a
Good vibes for good
beekeeper,
hives.
just like
Here we
Catherine,"
go.
but you can't even go see your bees while they're alive. Did you send, like, a bouquet when the bees
Some people just
died?
do this
Like,
entirely by
was
themselves
there
at
one
home.
of
We've been doing
those,
this for over a year now, but I still
wreaths on
need you.
the
I can't do this
beehive
part. It makes me
door
so
just to
scared.
show
Oh,
there
don't
had
be
been a
scared.
death in the family? Like,
I remember
any
when we started,
signs or
we
anything
didn't
like that? I mean, did
like
you
there were bees
care
here.
about
We've
these bees
had
at
it, and
all?
watch us grown.
Oh
See
my
how long is
gosh.
incredible.
Great, Megan. Just
Oh, they're
great
busy.
move there.
Busy bees.
All right. So then the
Good
next
vibes.
thing that
We're about to
she and
immerse
Daniel
ourselves in
do
like
is they make
70,000 good
their
vibes.
take home
Good vibes for good
souvenirs
hives.
from Daniel's
Here
big
we
trip
go.
to Megan's house. And that is beeswax candles. So
Some
they
people just do
melt
this
down the
entirely by
wax,
themselves at home. We've been
they
doing this for over
put
a year now, but I
different of
still
their different
need you.
kind of
I
favorite
can't do this part. It
scent
makes me so scared. Oh, don't be
senses
scared.
into it, and
I remember
then
when we
they
started, we
let
didn't
them cool
have
solid
there were
with the
bees
wick
here. We've
hanging
had it,
out,
and
and
watch us grown.
voila, they now
See how
have
long is
beeswax
incredible.
candles, to
Oh, they're
take
busy.
home. Um,
Busy bees.
so yeah, there was
Good
that.
vibes.
We're about to
All
immerse
right.
ourselves in
Now,
like
it wouldn't be
70,000 good.
anything if Megan didn't make a cake, and of course, it has to be. It wouldn't be Meghan Markle if it weren't a lemon cake. And she is making for us a honey lemon cake today. You can see over there at the left that her makeup artist just sits there and watches her put it all together, and then you can see how, um, she decorated the top of it with, whole berries and some sprigs of mint. Now, on the inside of this, between um, the buttercream, she swirls buttercream in, and then she swirls jam in, and I believe it is a raspberry jam. And so that way, when it is plated, like we see in that last image there, it looks exactly like that. And then she and Daniel take their cake and their whatever kind of drink they've poured for themselves, and they go and do this.
Oh my god, are you serious? What is this
What
view?
is this? This is so pretty.
This is insane. I feel like this is all fake.
And I thought that was the best way to end this episode. Um, because to me, that's what it looks like to her, and her just breezily throwing her head back
I feel like
against the
this is all
chair,
fake.
saying, "Oh, what is this? What is this greatness I'm in front of?" And he's like, "I
Oh my
feel like
god,
this
are you
is all
serious?
fake."
What is
And
this
Daniel,
view?
What is this?
I think I like you.
This is
Maybe
insane.
you should do a show
I feel
on
like this is all
Netflix.
fake.
Well, friends, that is all for today. Come back and see me tomorrow when we will tackle episode 2, which has Mindy Kaling in it. And tomorrow, instead of having a grown up sleepover, they're going to be hosting a children's party. And with just how amazing Megan is with the kids, I just can't wait to see what is coming our way. So, again, thanks for joining me today. Please, if you're inclined to, go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave feedback for me in the comments. And I will see you tomorrow. Roughly same time, roughly same place. Thanks again for being here. Good to see you. Hope you have a wonderful day. And I will catch you later. Bye bye.